Alrighty, Swamiji. I just want to let you talk.
On health in general?
Well, health and in my case specifically, MS or those types of diseases that are the fight and flight diseases, that stress-related diseases. And I guess, well, I'll ask you after.
And MS affects the nervous system, right?
Yes, it affects the myelin sheath, and the spinal cord. And what happens is the myelin sheath. I don't want to say attack because I remember you telling me one time not to use that word, but it starts being eaten away basically, and it makes lesions in the brain, and depending upon where that happens is where the short circuit takes place in the body. Some people lose their vision, like I lost my vision. I lost my balance, get numbness, tingling, no sensation in certain limbs. But I think it can be applied to any disease, right? Whatever.
Yeah. Yoga can be applied to any disease. It's like a holistic science. So the best thing is to talk of the fundamental aspects of our own being, that we are made up of 5 dimensions. The physical body needs its proper exercise and good health and coordination between the different organs and systems. So that is why we always start with asanas, whether you have problem with stomach or you have problem with stress or anything, because body is a good starting point. So just simple practices that can help open up the energy in the body. That's a good starting point. Then pranayama will play an important role in MS and stress related disease and psychosomatic disease, because our mental emotional states are reflected fully in our breathing, and mind is not easy to find and control, so we connect with the breathing. And when our breathing comes into a nice rhythm and we are breathing fully, that is when we allow for the full exchange of the gases, and we allow for a proper sort of nourishment for the body through the proper oxygen that we take and proper expelling of the carbon dioxide. Because whenever there is stress, we tend to hold on to our thoughts, our ideas, emotions, and then it becomes like a burden on the system, because we need to release, we need to let go. So breathing becomes the point by which we can let go, because our breathing is how we connect with the universe. So if we are stressed, then we connect with the universe out of that stress, and then we feel more stressed, and then it leads to depression, frustration, psychosomatic problems, and the skin tone indicates how is our stress level. So as breathing plays an important role, so it's a good idea to connect with the proper breathing techniques from yoga. And for any mental emotional problems and problems of the nervous system, the Nadi Shodhan, the alternate nostril breathing, is a wonderful practice, because it just helps to restore the balance between the body and the mind. And this is where the healing starts, with the energy, with the breath. And then because we take a lot of stress in our life, and then it becomes like a deep grooves in our mind, that we keep on falling into that groove again and again. So those are called the samskaras, that we are left with strong impressions. And although sometimes we see the light, we don't really move to that, because we keep on falling into the grooves again. And this is what creates the tamasic nature, that I want to change, but I am not doing anything to change. So then it becomes an internal struggle. So we have to let the mind relax. We have to create sort of like new patterns of thinking. And yoga can help through visualization, through relaxation practices. And then going into concentration of this energy into something positive, creative, use dharana. So where we can hold our mind on to some point for a longer period of time. And this is what helps us to create a new path, like a new neural circuit in our own mind, that we are able to come out of that negative grooves and create a positive path, and allowing the body and the mind to follow through that. So this is where the healing goes at a psychic level, that we want to bring a fundamental change within ourselves, and not just allow ourselves to suffer out of those negative pattern of thinking. And once we reach that level, then the healing is from deep inside, and then it just helps the body and the mind to come out, and you feel fresh energy, new inspiration, and the body will just follow, because body is just like a gross instrument of something more subtle and powerful, which is the mind. So when we bring the change in the mind, then the body will just follow. The body will be more happy, more relaxed, and more just like full of energy. So whether it's MS or whether it's any other problem. So yoga has always looked at the holistic approach rather than a piecemeal approach. And of course there are so many practices in asanas, pranayam. So finding the right sort of combination for one's own problem, one needs to connect with a yoga teacher for a while who can understand. If it's for therapy, then definitely a little longer. And then one has to continue with one's own momentum, with one's own inspiration. That enthusiasm has to be there. And the change doesn't come immediately, so one has to be a little patient. And I have noticed that when people have problems and they have tried all other methods, and then they come to yoga as a final, okay, let's try this also. And they start feeling positive change, and finally when they are in a state of recovery, this is when they become the ambassadors of yoga. They realize that how important yoga is in their own life and how they can help other people. And it's not something that we can force onto somebody, but when the change comes from within, then it's just like a spontaneous connection. So you have seen it in your own life, how yoga has changed you. So yeah, and you're doing a wonderful job of sharing it with other people now, because you see the benefits of it, you see the bliss of yoga.
One more question. The difference between healing and going back to your balance.
You see, they are interrelated. Like in Sanskrit, the word that we use for health or balance is swastha, that I'm established in my own self. So this is where we talk of the five bodies, that your physical body, your energy body, your mental body, wisdom body, and the bliss body. They have to come in good coordination with each other. They have to work with each other in a sense of balance and harmony. So when there is this balance and harmony, definitely the body is in a state of good healing, natural healing. And when it's out of balance, then we have to make an effort to bring it back. So making that effort is like a healing process. Whenever there is imbalance, we are not in a state of balance and harmony. So it's the disease state, whether it affects the body or the mind or the emotions or the energy level. And then to correct it back is the healing process, to heal us back into getting centered in our own self. So I feel that they are interrelated.
Okay.
Otherwise, why would we need a healing if we are centered?
Right.
But the moment we lose the center, it's a very dynamic state. Health is not a static state, it's like a very dynamic. It's not a like reaching a destination, it's a journey. So it has to be practiced on a daily basis, that we focus on our own health at different levels, that we have good physical health, that our energy level is good, that our mind is working in good order. So it's always a dynamic state. So on a daily basis we have to do something. And that is why yoga starts with the sense of discipline. It has to be a discipline that you integrate in your daily routine. And then within 10-15 days, people start seeing positive change. Sometimes it's like immediate, the first experience of yoga, and they feel an immediate change and they want to experience a little more. So that generates a kind of motivation. And then if a person continues, if a person connects with the idea of discipline, then the enthusiasm comes back that yes, I can make a change in myself. So then that is when the change, the transformation starts. And that itself is like a healing process.
So you're talking about internalizing all of it together and
Yes.
being aware of it on a daily
Yes.
basis.
Practicing on a daily basis and yes, being aware. You see, when there is awareness, then there will be slowly we develop acceptance that okay, there is some problem with me and I can make a change. Otherwise, when there is not full awareness and we feel, oh, the medicine will cure me, and then we become dependent on the medicine, and then the side effects start killing a person, and then the acceptance has to be there that okay, there is problem, there is awareness of it, and then what can I do to change it?
Thank you. Oh, don't tell me it didn't record.
Did it record?
Yes.
Good.
You have to say it all over again.